Hi, this is Stacy, video 2 in the short series around life and practice, health and wellness paradigm. So today a bit about the juxtaposition between really open and closed would be another way. The first time we talked a bit about love versus fear, right? And it's still all about the same thing, but just a different slice of the pie. So a bit around open and closed would be one way to say it. And one of my most beloved instructors from homeopathy school, I hear her voice in my head frequently saying a phrase I heard several times from her, which is to hold every concept loosely. Every. Which is a lofty goal or principle. It's a bit like that Zen Suzuki Roshi beginner's mind, or hey, I'm new here kind of outlook, which is a amazing ideal and something to aim for. And harder to do even than it sounds, but to hold every concept loosely. And if we think about that, even just to bring it back into our own bodies, if we're like defending a position, we're over here in fear and we're us versus them and we're defending, even just me saying that, you can see like tight, closed, right? Here I might be, we'll use the word hiding, right? Then I'm becoming very small, shrinking away. That again, tight, closed, hiding as one extreme, or poised for a battle as another extreme. And in the middle, just open, right? Open and roomy and spacious and available and receptive to life and new ideas and all the many possibilities that are out there. We don't see all the possibilities. Our creative flow, our creative thinking is much more limited when we're over here in fear and either side of it. Whereas here, maximum creativity can occur, right? We're open to all possibilities. So another way to think about this is a scientific mind is an endless quest for information and answers. So science is inquiry, right? It's asking a question, posing a theory or an idea, and then trying to find out if that's holds up or not, right? And then there's another question, and then there's another question. And so it's this endless thing, and we come to these theories that sometimes are commonly accepted, right? Other times not. But they're always just theories until the next level of inquiry has been gone through, right? So that would be another way to look at it. Versus over here, we might have maybe a superstition or something like that. I can't think of another good example right now. Just a lack of inquiry. So a very dogmatic or rigid view of something, an internal perspective that left out the theory part and decided that some idea that's proposed is, well, that's a hard and fast fact. That's a rule. That's a given. Instead of holding it loosely as, well, it's possible that this is true, or it's possible that this is how this works. And it's also possible that it's not, and that we just don't quite understand all of the pieces of it yet. So that this is how it appears to function in the world, or this is what appears to happen in some scenario or situation or process. And so to the best of our current knowledge, this is how we understand it. But we're continuing to inquire and continuing to wonder and continuing to explore. Which brings us to, the human challenge with coming into this ideal, right? This place of open, spacious awareness instead of rigid belief systems or doctrines or dogmas. Here, there's a lot of uncertainty. And like today, with what's going on in our global situation, people are being very confronted by a level of uncertainty that many of us are not used to dealing with in our daily life. And that's very challenging, right? Because it's our nature to want to have these beliefs and to say, well, this is how it is. And then we can feel sort of confident, right? We like labels. We like to label things. We like diagnoses. We like categories. We like names for things, right? We can't wait to teach little kids, like, oh, this is a bird, or this is a whatever. There are good reasons for, language and labels and things like that, and they do help us function, but they're also very limiting, right? They're constricting and confining and closing in, making smaller, shrinking the possibilities, versus an ideal having space for everything, right? Being in a place of, we might call it faith, right? If we look at it a little bit differently. Here we have faith, trust in life, right? We allow the process of life, we trust the flow, we accept. All these things are here. And over here, we have an expectation or an idea of how it should be. And then, of course, it doesn't meet that, and it's scary, right? And we think we should know the answer, or we should have the right thing, or we should know that, whatever it is. And these are all, fear-based of one sort of another reactions. And in here, right, when we're just open and spacious and comfortable with, I don't know, comfortable with, well, maybe that's true, comfortable with holding lots of possibilities in this roomy, spacious way of being, uncertainty is not as scary. So it's different. I'd say also we could take it back to, I always go back to practical, well, not everyone would think horsemanship is practical, but interacting with another species can teach you a lot. So one of my favorite horsemanship instructors, one of their famous sayings is, make no, in fact it's a principle of the program, make no, teach no assumptions. So here, there are no assumptions at all. Here, loaded with assumptions. Prejudice is another word we might use for assumptions. Preferences, we're going to have them. So again, we're in the middle here somewhere, right? This is an ideal. Over here would be the extreme far away from the ideal. So we might over here assume certain things to be a fact. And anybody who doesn't agree with us, we're invested in that, right? If we're over here, we're invested in our belief, in our dogma, in our whatever it is, and it becomes over here especially very defensive. I have to make you believe I'm right, or I have to show you you're wrong, or you're bad because you don't have the same belief. Same thing over here, right? I know I'm right, so I have to defend myself against what I believe is happening, or I feel very victimized by what's being done to me according to my belief system, right? And I have a strong investment in that. And here in the ideal, right, we're just able to hold all the possibilities and all the concepts loosely, as one of my favorite teachers would say. So I don't have a song today, but I have a poem. So I'm just going to read you it's a short one. I might post a longer one in the comment section, but here goes. So, held loosely, viewed from a distance, is this thought insight, or is it mischief? Inner confusion, tangled web we weave, when first we practice to deceive. Did thought arrive with emotional charge, or rise from deep stillness, small still voice growing large? One whose eyes see well in the dark ever helps us to trust the wisdom in our heart. Truth as clear water from spring-fed stream wakes us from this mind-made dream. Thank you for listening. Be well.